there, movie fans. Scott Movie Mantz here with a brand new installment of Rank and File. Just like the last episode where we covered Quentin Tarantino, I'm going to continue the theme of doing a director. This time, the director is Christopher Nolan. Of course, the timing is perfect because of the release of Tenet. So we are going to include Tenet on the list of 11 films that Christopher Nolan has directed over these last 2 decades. But where, oh, where does Tenet rank among all of Christopher Nolan's movies? Well, let's get right to it, shall we say, with number 11, which is Following. Release date April 3rd, 1999. Budget is $6,000. Safe to say that that is his lowest budget movie ever. Domestic gross, $48,482. Well, this is Christopher Nolan's first movie. It's also his shortest movie at 1 hour and 10 minutes. It is shot in black and white. It is a neo-noir psychological drama about a nomad who likes to follow people around until he follows the wrong person and gets more than he bargained for. This is a solid, intriguing, absorbing, and engrossing film. And if you've never seen it and you're watching this episode, you gotta love Christopher Nolan, so you gotta check out Following. It absolutely is worth seeing. Moving up to number 10 is Interstellar. Release date November 5th, 2014. Budget $165 million. Domestic gross $188 million. Worldwide gross $693 million. 1 Academy Award win for visual effects, well deserved. 4 additional Oscar nominations for score, sound mixing, sound editing, and production design. This is a beautiful film. This feels like Nolan's ode to 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's bold, it's ambitious, it's challenging. And by the way, those are 3 words you're going to hear a lot on this episode of Rank and File. It is also Nolan's most emotional film to date. Great performances, incredible visual effects, but it is kind of a mixed bag, and I don't think that Interstellar holds up as well as the other films on this list. It's uneven, it lacks focus, it's contrived, and most importantly, it doesn't stick the landing. I did not dig the payoff. It reminded me too much of Jodie Foster in Contact, and not in a good way. Moving up to number 9. Okay, here it is. This is going to cause a lot of controversy. We're going to have a lot to say about this. So start commenting in the comments section below when you see that my number 9 movie as of now is Tenet. Yep. Released on August 26, 2020. Budget of $200 million plus. Now, I only saw this movie once, and like the rest of Christopher Nolan's movies, I know I need to see it again. But how will it hold up? Will it move up on this list? As of now, I think the Tenet is kind of a mixed bag. I don't love it as much as I did when I first saw it. It's my first movie in theaters in 6 months. On the good side, it feels like Christopher Nolan's James Bond movie. Mind-blowing visual effects, great action. It's a really immersive film. But on the bad side, it's really confusing. I know that's not a shock, but it's really confusing. So confusing that it makes Inception look like Bambi. And no, I am not exaggerating. It is also really hard to understand the dialogue. I thought I was the only one who had a problem understanding the dialogue. But from what I've read elsewhere online, other people had a problem understanding the dialogue of this movie. Now, the movie feels like a puzzle where the pieces are being assembled from different times and different dimensions. Will this movie get better in the second or even third viewing, like Inception got better in the second and third viewing? And should you have to see a movie twice or 3 times to get the gist of what is going on? It's really bold, ambitious, and challenging, but is it simply too challenging for its own good? Only time will tell, but for right now, Tenet is number 9 on my list. Moving up to number 8 is The Dark Knight Rises. Release date July 20th, 2012. Budget $250 million. Domestic gross is $448 million. Worldwide gross is $1.08 billion, which makes The Dark Knight Rises Christopher Nolan's highest grossing movie to date. I love this movie. I think I like it more than most people. I feel like in many ways, Dark Knight Rises is the most ambitious film in Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy because it's more of an ensemble, and it also feels like it's very grounded in reality and very plausible and very scary in a post 9/11 world. And I thought Tom Hardy as Bane was a really terrifying, scary villain. I loved the ending, and I thought it was a very satisfying conclusion to Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Moving up to number 7 on the list is Batman Begins. Released June 15th, 2005. Budget $150 million. Domestic gross $207 million. Worldwide is $373 million. One Oscar nomination for cinematography. Batman Begins is a great reboot, and it was the sophisticated reboot that Batman needed after the 2 Joel Schumacher directed movies. Rest in peace, respect to Joel Schumacher, but Batman and Robin almost did Batman in as a film franchise until Batman Begins came along. But this is a challenging film, and Nolan played to his strengths by making it challenging, having the audience rise to his level, and it really is more about Bruce Wayne than it is about Batman. You don't really see Batman until more than an hour into the film, and I thought Christian Bale was terrific, and in my humble opinion, still the best Bruce Wayne to date. Will he be topped by Robert Pattinson in Matt Reeves' The Batman? We shall see. Moving up to number 6 on the list is a movie that I thought was okay when I first saw it, but I've watched it again a couple times over the years, and as per the usual course with Nolan's movies, I did like it the more I saw it, and it's a film that I hold in very high regard. It's a film that I think is overlooked and underrated. Can you guess what it is? Are you watching closely? Because it is The Prestige. Released on October 20th, 2006. Budget of $40 million. Domestic gross is $53 million. Worldwide gross $110 million. 2 Oscar nominations for cinematography and art direction. Nolan has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, no pun intended, with The Prestige. And it's about these 2 magicians in 1878 who are very competitive, and their competition gets deadly as they try to one-up each other and try to sabotage each other. More than any other film, I have to say that The Prestige is the perfect balance between ambition and entertainment. It really is an amazing film. Lots of good gotcha surprises along the way. The stakes keep getting higher and higher until the ending, which is absolutely fantastic. Moving up to number 5 is Insomnia. Release date May 24th, 2002. Budget is $46 million. Domestic gross is $67 million. Worldwide gross is $114 million. This is Christopher Nolan's first studio movie. It was released by Warner Brothers, and it was his 3rd film. And I loved Insomnia when I first saw it. I think it is a perfect film, a gripping and absorbing and riveting psychological thriller, and a battle of wits between a sleepy detective who goes to an Alaskan town where the sun hardly sets in order to find the murderer of a teenage girl, and that murderer just might be Robin Williams. Al Pacino was so great in this movie. He looked so tired and so exhausted that I was exhausted just watching him. And it really is a delicate performance because even though he makes a lot of really bad decisions, you still empathize with him. You still feel for the guy. And Hilary Swank as the idealistic local detective who just really looks up to Pacino's character and is willing to make a mistake to protect him until Pacino tells her, "Don't lose your way." Insomnia is an underrated film. It's an overlooked film. It's usually not mentioned when people talk about Nolan's best movies, but Insomnia really is one of Nolan's best movies. It's a perfect film. I just watched it again recently, and almost 20 years later, it still holds up. Insomnia is great. Moving up to number 4 on the list is Memento, released March 16, 2001. Budget $9 million. Domestic gross $25.5 million. Worldwide gross is $40 million. Plus 2 Academy Award nominations, so well deserved for original screenplay and editing. Memento is Nolan's cinematic breakthrough. I saw this movie twice in the same day. The first time I saw it, didn't really get it. I knew I needed to see it again. I snuck back in again for the next showing, and I got it. The movie is tight. There's no holes. It holds up. It's perfect. Ambitious from start to finish. Really brilliant and exhilarating bravura filmmaking of the tallest order. This is a mystery told in reverse, but with a forward-flowing narrative. The black and white portions move forward while the color portions move backwards, and it all connects. It all makes sense at the end, but keeps you guessing, but it has a great payoff. And if you've been paying attention from the beginning, it is extremely rewarding. Guy Pearce is terrific in this film, and it really does hold up after almost 20 years. It's still one of Nolan's very, very best movies. Number 3 on the list is Dunkirk, released July 21st, 2017. Budget $100 million. Looks like it cost a lot more than that. Domestic gross $189.7 million. Worldwide gross $527 million. 3 Academy Award wins for film editing, sound mixing, and sound editing. 5 additional Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Score, Cinematography, and Production Design. I didn't know this until I did research on it, but Dunkirk is actually the highest grossing World War II movie of all time. I gotta say, watching it again, it really is breathtaking. This is unlike any other movie I've ever seen. The movie is told from 3 different points of view: on the ground, in the air, and by the sea. It is riveting and engrossing from start to finish. Visually stunning film. Not a lot of dialogue here. Incredible practical visual effects. Thousands of extras. The boats at sea. The dogfights in the air. This is just really an incredible film. Oh man, Dunkirk is just awesome. I love it. Number 3 on the list. Moving up to number 2 is Inception. Release date July 16th, 2010. Budget $160 million. Domestic gross $292.6 million. Worldwide gross $871 million. 4 Academy Award wins for cinematography, sound mixing, sound editing, visual effects. 4 additional Oscar nominations for Best Picture, Original Screenplay, Original Score, and Art Direction. Inception really does represent Nolan firing on all cylinders, plays to all of his strengths. It is a big budget studio film where the audience has to rise to Nolan's level, pay very, very close attention, and it is a film that does get better and better the more you see it. I hope and pray the same thing holds true for Tenet. We'll have to see, because this movie was confusing at first, but it makes a whole lot more sense the second and third time you see it. It's challenging, ambitious, sophisticated, and there are layers, so many layers to this film, because you have a dream within a dream within a dream, and it keeps going to different levels. And I love the ending with the spinning top. It's an ambiguous ending because you start to think maybe we were in a dream the entire time. Amazing cast with Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Marion Cotillard, mind-blowing visual effects, gravity-defying stunts and action scenes. Inception really is an amazing movie. Moving up to number 1, can you guess? Of course, that leads us with The Dark Knight. Released July 18th, 2008. Budget $185 million. Domestic gross $535 million. Worldwide gross $1 billion. 2 Academy Award wins. Supporting actor for Heath Ledger and sound editing. 6 additional Oscar nominations for cinematography, film editing, art direction, makeup, sound mixing, and visual effects. So why The Dark Knight over Inception when Inception clearly was a more ambitious movie? Well, let's face it, I went with The Dark Knight because it really did change the game for superhero comic book based movies. There really is nothing like it. It was so grounded in reality. It was plausible. It was more of a mob movie. And Heath Ledger, of course, is magnificent. He was awarded with an Academy Award a few months after he had passed away. Dark Knight really just is a fantastic movie. It holds up perfectly, and that is why The Dark Knight is the #1 Christopher Nolan movie. So what do you think of this ranking of Christopher Nolan's movies? Comment below. How would you rank Christopher Nolan's movies? Comment below. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you thought. Hit me up on Twitter. It's at Movie Mantz. Let me know what you think. Let me know what director or film series you would like for me to rank next. Please like this video and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and spread the word. And until the next episode of Rank and File, here's looking at you, kid.